about the evil that a black people dare to say we don't want to be slaves anymore. You would think they were criminals. You would think that they fighting for their freedom was a criminal act. It was an unjust practice. You would think that free men who were sold into slavery wanted to say we don't want to be free, we don't want to be slaves anymore. We don't want to be treated like animals anymore. You would think that that was the worst thing any human being could do. No. But to white people, yeah, that is the worst thing you could do, because rather that you are enslaved and in chains, that you be free. So they levied this huge indemnity on them, which took them for years. So now that gives you an idea of the financial struggle. So let's come to the modern times. So over the years, Haiti would struggle financially. They couldn't trade with people on the outside world. Poverty became rampant in Haiti. Haiti, you can imagine, paying this debt back. And on top of the fact that they were paying this debt, United States conquered Haiti in 1915, came in with their own BS to control that country and exploit that country in 1950. They were there all the way to 1935 before they left. But they won't leave nicely and gently. No, they will continue to back CIA operations and coup against anyone that opposed U.S. policies in Haiti. See, Haiti, when U.S. left, they began planting puppets in Haiti. They began planting puppet president in Haiti to ensure that they had someone in there that they trusted and someone in there that they can keep an eye on. So then that brings me now to the Dyer family. The Dyer family was one that ruled Haiti from 1957 till 1986. He was a puppet president that was put in. It is known today as the worst time of Haiti, when a medical doctor by profession became the prime minister of Haiti in 1957. He was known as Francois, a.k.a. Papa Doc Duvalier. This family ruled Haiti massively. He weaponized the military-industrial complex against its citizens. He was known as a dictator in Haiti. He will rule all the way from 1957 to 1971, and his son, Jean-Claude Duvalier, a.k.a. Baby Doc, would take on the mantle of his father and continue to strike fear and terror in Haiti. And the dynasty and the rule ended in 1986. This family began the hardship and the deterioration of Haiti. When you ask a lot of Haitians, they will tell you that on top of the economic strain as a result of the indemnity that was imposed to them by France, it was this family, the Duvalier family, that really caused Haiti their huge demise. You see, this then began the distrust between the military as well as the civilian. See, under the Duvalier family and the regime, the military was used to oppress the Haitian people. So basically, anyone that spoke against the regime was dealt with. They were snatching people out in the middle of the night. The military was involved in a lot of oppression and a lot of humanitarian crisis, inhumane practices against their own people. They were silencing their own people. It was a huge dictatorship in Haiti. Corruption was all over the place. Drug trafficking, human trafficking, drugs. It's a whole lot. As a matter of fact, this military there was a scandal that this military was involved in 1980 all the way to 1990 between South America, drugs that were sold from South America all the way to the United States, cocaine involved, which then caused the CIA to come in during that time and also impose a lot of sanction against Haiti. It was a horrible time during this time. Now, I told you earlier on that baby Papa Doc, who was the one that weaponized the military against his own people, got a taste of his medicine when the military turned against him. So there was an attempted coup against his life at one point. And that failed. And so he began to distrust his own military people in an attempt to get protection for his life and protection for himself, because he was no longer trusting his own military personnel to watch over him because of this attempted coup. He created a private security force, a private army, which later on evolved into the gang. So the first gang in Haiti was created by this family known as Tonton Macoute. These private gangs were there to protect him and protect his regime. But at the same time, they evolved into what we know today as a gang in Haiti. So that was the first gang. And over the years, the gangs in Haiti will be used by each political opposition against the other. So they began to evolve. And while the gangs evolved, the military-industrial complex diminished. Today, Haiti has no military force. There's no military force in Haiti. It is even reported that as upwards as 500 human personnel have joined the military force in Haiti. They have no military. There's a huge distrust against the military-industrial complex in Haiti, which is why when Ariel Henry went to Kenya to go grab some military support from Kenya, from the president of Kenya, it was seen as an old grievance against the military, which is why he was told, don't come back in here, because the military in Haiti were used to oppress the people for years. So a lot of the Haitian people saw the gang as a refuge, as people, a protector. But over the years, the gangs became corrupt. The same thing that they hated the military for, they began to do. They began to oppress people. They began to steal from people. They began to do drugs. Corruption ravaged the gangs. The gang expanded. The current leader of the gang right now, Jimmy Barbecue, was once used to curb some of the gangs, and he was ousted out because there was allegation that he was involved in the massacre in the neighborhood La Saline neighborhood in Haiti. There was a huge massacre in 2018 that there was an allegation that he was involved in that, and he was ousted out. And so that's how he then went on and formed the G9 family gang and expanded his gang. And this is why he's now the leader of the gang. So there's a story behind all of this. But I want you to understand how things got to this point. A lot of the coup, a lot of the election, the presidents or prime ministers that were elected in Haiti were not done under a free and fair election. They were all US-backed puppet, Western-backed puppet that were put in there. For example, Jovenel Moïse was not elected through a democratic process. He was appointed, which is why there was a lot of animosity against his appointment back in 2017. And there was all these talk about how long is he going to rule. He said he's going to be a prime minister and hold an election, which he never did. And he said he was going to step down in 2022. Many said no, he should have stepped down in February 2021. And because of that, going back and forth, and people saw him as a corrupt person, he was then massacred at his home by a group of gunmen, a lot of which were Colombian mercenaries. Many also said that there were a lot of also Haitians involved in there that killed him at his home, injured his wife. This was in July 2021. But before he would die, he appointed Ariel Henry to be the next successor of him a couple of days before he would be killed. When Jovenel Moïse died, a man named Claude Joseph took on the interim position. But this will immediately cause contention between Claude Joseph and Ariel Henry, who said he was appointed by Jovenel Moïse. And so that went on for a while. And then Claude Joseph stepped down as the interim prime minister. And then Ariel Henry became the prime minister. But of course, his position would not last because he just resigned not too long ago. Now, I talked about the hate that Barbecue have for Ariel Henry, because Ariel Henry was seen, even though he was appointed by Jovenel Moïse, he was also this allegation that he was involved in the assassination of his predecessor. And Jovenel Moïse and Barbecue were friends. He liked Jovenel Moïse. Barbecue liked him, because it's the allegation that the government and his government, just Jovenel Moïse's government, backed and funded the gang that Barbecue was part of. You see, I mentioned earlier on that the gang expanded and was used as a political pawn and a political weapon against the opponents, each opponent of the political party. So Barbecue his gang was funded heavily, which is how they all have great weaponry. If you look at the weapons they all have as a result of the funding, political funding from each political party that will use each gang to their own favor. Most of those weapons they have are more sophisticated than even their military weapons. Now, how did they get those weapons? Guess who was funding that weapon? The United States. The United States, who puts all these puppets in position, funds weapons so they can kill each other. That's how that's going on. And so Barbecue was liked Jovenel Moise because he was funding his gang. And so when the allegation that Ariel Henry was tied to the assassination of Moise, you kind of see Barbecue pissed off about this. And so Barbecue really hated him and told him, you can't come back in here. Especially when he saw him going to try to solicit military support from Kenya. That was the thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the last straw right there. And so he resigned as a result of a threat. They even blocked the airport that he wasn't going to come back. You can kind of see, and this entire time, all of the instabilities, all of the situation in Haiti in terms of financial situation, all of the coups, all of the assassination, these have all been Western involved CIA-backed operations against that country because of the original sin they committed back in 1791, which got them their freedom in 1804. Even while they paid a huge indemnity for years, white folks saw that as something that inspired black people and caused slavery to end in this country. It is a sin that they still hold them against till today. And so they weren't going to let them go, no matter what. And so they will always back opposition against this one small island in the Caribbean. Now, I'm going to talk about the one free and fair election that Haiti has had. See, Haiti hasn't had a free and fair election for years. A lot of the prime ministers have all been appointed and have all said they were going to run elections, and they never do. They never do run any elections because of the corruption that marred a lot of them, and because of all of the shenanigans that many of them were involved with as a result of being puppets of the West and Europe. So there wasn't any free and fair election. The only free and fair election that occurred in Haiti happened in 1990 when a man known as Jean-Bertrand Aristide became the prime minister of Haiti. This was the only time the Haitians will tell you that they had a free and fair democratic election. This gentleman, to many Haitians, was perhaps the only one in the modern history that was more of a good president. He fell off later on, but his intentions were good. He ran a campaign. He was for the poor and the working class in Haiti. He put a lot of social reforms in place to try to build Haiti, especially while they were still under this huge indemnity from France. It was even said that the economy of Haiti grew by 1.3%. The GDP grew by 1.3% during his presidency. It was still far from what other Caribbean countries like Jamaica and many others were recording as far as GDP growth. But when you consider that this is a country that was under a French indemnity, a huge debt, double debt, and to then have a GDP grow at a 1.3% during that time, you kind of see that this was a huge accomplishment for Haiti at the time. He ruled for 6 years. Of course, there was a 2004 coup backed by the United States to oust him because he was trying to do something for his people. Go figure. Have we seen that play out before? Does that sound familiar? They ousted him in a coup. He will be brought back later on to serve the next couple of terms of his presidency. However, his popularity with the poor will little diminish and dwindle. But with the man, the one person, the 2004 coup, some people point to that as the beginning of the end with Haiti. That's the coup of this president, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, was seen as the beginning of the end. And U.S. knew that this man was someone that was trying to change Haiti. They took him out. and planted a lot of allegations, a lot of CIA-backed allegations, which corrupted his presidency and his whole administration to where the people began to fall out of favor with him. So when you compare him with the other prime ministers that have existed, who have heavily been U.S. backed puppets, he was the only one that many people look at to say that was the best president we had. And he was the only one who was looking out for his own people and wasn't trying to either use the military and weaponize the military against his own people or try to exploit his own people in a negative way. But the West didn't like him for it. So they caused the type of known thing that we all know them to do in Africa or with the black nations to destabilize the economy. Because Haiti committed the original sin. They dared to fight for their freedom in 1791 and win against the oppressors back in the days. That has been the sin that Haiti had committed that's caused the demise of Haiti till today. Okay, so let's talk about now, and I'll close, where Nigeria is involved in all of this. You see, there are 5 black groups that have been a threat to white people over the years. 5 black groups that have to be dismantled and, quelled down or shut down as it relates to how white people and white imperialists and people like in a white culture that see black people this way. Not all of them, but the ones that see black people this way. There are 5 black groups that need to be quelled. The first one is Haitians, which is what we're seeing right now, right? Because they started the whole inspiring black people to stand up against white people. How dare you? Haitians are one. Second, the Congolese. Third, Zimbabweans, die hard. They don't give up. These are people that will never, no matter what, their spirit or die hard spirit. These are all people in Africa. Fourth, African Americans. And the 5th state, Nigerians. You see, when you consider all these 5 groups, 4 of which we all know the story. We all know the story of all 4 out of the 5 and how the white power structure tried fervently to dismantle their spirit. And in many cases, they succeeded. The 5th state, Nigeria, is one they're coming after. Now, why is Nigeria the key part? One would even argue Nigeria is the center of all of this because a lot of the slaves to the Americas, a lot of African Americans bear a lot of Nigerian spirits because most of them come from Nigeria and from the West. Haitians, same thing. They're all taken from the western part of Africa. So they bear that spirit of resilience and rebellion, a diehard spirit that harnesses the African spirit inside and refuse to bend the knees to a white power structure. That type of spirit is one that has been a problem for the type of white people that like to see black people suppressed. And so they've conquered all these other ones, which is why Haiti was a designed thing based on what happened in 1791 that got them to gain their independence. See, how dare you? And so that type of spirit has evolved and lived in black people over the years. The same spirit that inspired African Americans to fight for their freedom. The civil rights struggle of African Americans all existed and all came and stemmed from the insurrection and the revolt, the Haitian Revolution, which is by way of Africans and African spirit. So Nigeria, you're up next. The reason why Nigeria today is a main focus is because Nigerians have never been conquered and defeated. You see, even when the colonials and imperialists came and colonized Nigeria, it's one thing to colonize a country. It's another thing to colonize a people and destroy a people. See, Nigerians have never been destroyed. And the spirit of Africa and spirit of Nigeria, of the ancestor, lives heavily in Nigeria, which is Nigerians are defiant. Nigerians don't send for nobody. And those in the white culture that think like this see Nigeria as a threat because Nigeria inspires black people all over the place. So Nigeria is up next. And so Haiti is that symbol that white people, not all, but the ones that think like this, use to keep all the African leaders on their knees and say, hey, you want to be like Haiti? Can you imagine the meetings? You can imagine that meeting when you have heads of states, presidents in Africa engage with Western and European countries. And they are engaging in a conversation where the West and Europe are trying to exploit their land, which they've done for years. You can imagine when they push back, and you can imagine the pushback that the West will have for them. And that will probably sound like this. You want to be like Haiti? So Haiti needed to happen because Haiti is a symbol that they use to keep Africa in its knees. Because when you hear you want to be like Haiti, most people would say, no, we don't want to be like Haiti. Because the result of what we're seeing in Haiti is not something that any country wants to be part of. No country wants to see the economy deteriorate. No country or its citizens want to see a people, their own people, destroyed, fighting, looting, destruction, mayhem. No country wants to see that. But to white imperialists who have this mindset of keeping black people on his knees, that is something they're happy that it happened because it keeps the other African countries in line. Now, here is the challenge for Nigeria. Nigeria right now is the one there's a bullseye on your back. However, here is a game changer for Nigeria. China and Russia. China, Russia, and BRICS is a game changer for Nigeria. See, white folks have been ruling the world under this so-called the rule-based international order, which is a practice they use to keep everybody in line. So the rule-based international order is something that they came up with, a doctrine they came up with and say, hey, this is the rules that everyone else have to govern, have to follow, but we're not going to follow it. But everybody else has to be under. So they preach this rule-based international order all over the place. You hear the likes of Canada, England, United States, push this. They don't follow it. And they've used that to dominate the world for years. For years it has been. And everyone has to be under this so-called rule-based international order. But guess who is defying this? BRICS. Guess who is not part of this whole shenanigan that the West has put forth? China, Asia. And guess who is also happy that this is happening? China, Asia, and India. They're happy that this is happening. Why? Not for the same reason that U.S. is happy. U.S. is happy that Haiti has fallen because they want to keep Africa in his knees. China is happy that Haiti is probably falling because they know now Africans are going to shift allegiance from the West to them. So they're not happy for the same reason. Do you understand this? So this is the wild card, the disruption in the entire agenda, global agenda that the West and Europe has had over the years. And Africa is a key power source to keep the European and the power structure in the West alive. Africa needs to be exploited for them to gain. Now, Africa finally is going to break away because there's a new global order that's going on right now. There's a new shift in global alliance that's going on right now. And this is concerning the likes of the United States. Can you imagine South Africa suing the likes of Israel? Can you imagine that? Understand what it is. South Africa took Israel to court and sued them for the atrocity and the genocide against Palestine. Can you imagine South Africa? Now, why would South Africa, a small country like that, dare to do this? Because South Africa is aligned with both China, Russia, and India with BRICS organization because of the new global shift and global agenda. There's a new reorder going on right now. That's why a country like South Africa can dare to do that. They wouldn't have done that and dared to do that years ago. But now they have a new partnership. There's a new global alliance, and that is causing the West a lot of heartache. Now, guess what? Nigeria, you're misaligned right now. Nigeria needs to follow suit and join BRICS because the partnership that Nigeria has with the West is not favoring that country. You are misaligned right now. You're not aligned with who is going to look out for your best interest. You're aligned with a country and with people who enslave our people and who has caused the demise of our people over the years. You're misaligned, but I think that Nigeria will get aligned. It's only inevitable because Nigeria is the largest African country on the continent. And Nigeria, not just being in size, has the most resilient, the most educated, the most tenacious Africans living in that country. Nigeria is a threat. They would love nothing more to see Nigeria go through a coup and fall like Haiti, because then it would have completed what they wanted and kept black people forever bound. But because of the new global reshuffling that's going on right now, that will never happen. So there's all this emphasis to make sure that Nigeria is still tied to the West, so that Nigeria is still part of the Western order and all this nonsense. I believe that there's going to be a president of Nigeria that will show up one day and break the ties Nigeria has with the West and realign itself to a people that never enslaved us. See, China never enslaved us. Russians never colonized us. India, they never. China had the ship back in the days, but they did it. They didn't go and enslave Africans. It wasn't their thing. Their religion didn't permit it. That was not their thing. So while we aligned politically with a Western hemisphere, we enslaved our people and have caused our demise over the years. So Nigeria is misaligned right now, and you need to get aligned. And I think that Nigeria will, and when Nigeria does that, that will kill final Western involvement on Africa, because Nigeria is the key to Africa's success, and I hope that that will happen. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like the video, share the content, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. De vill ju bara dra ner oss, men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger all min tid och jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda baby, och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig.